Good morning, everybody. Maxime Bernier is tweeting out, and this is a Maxime Bernier tweet roundup. So here we go. Big news in People's Party of Canada and Maxime Bernier land. And he says, quote, "Go at Jennifer M. Clark and at Laura Lynn TT. So proud to have two fantastic candidates to represent our party in BC for our first ever electoral fight. This is a historic moment." And he's linking to the People's Party of Canada tweet here, and we'll look at it. And it says, "The People's Party of Canada is very proud to announce the nomination of its first ever candidates in the two upcoming BC by-elections. Laura Lynn TT will represent the PPC in Burnaby South, while at Jennifer M. Clark will represent our colors in Nanaimo Ladysmith. Congratulations to both." And that's wonderful news, because once that happens, win or lose, the PPC becomes an official party recognized by Elections Canada and can then administer tax receipts like everybody else, which is exciting. Very good news. Very difficult to get done, and we have an EDA in every riding as well. Mr. Bernier, bravo, and welcome, ladies. I would love to interview you if you're interested. I will tweet at you and see if we can get in contact, because that would be interesting. Continuing our Maxime Bernier tweet roundup, this was funny. Quote, "Political correctness is just a bullying technique the multiculturalist left has found to shut up opposition to their ideology. We should respect every individual, but we should be free to criticize, debate, appropriate, or satirize anything." And this is a link to a story saying, "Relax, it's okay to make light of Trudeau's India trip." And there was a program in Quebec called Bye Bye, and it's a once-a-year program, and they produced a very, very funny video clip with Justin Trudeau dancing in Bollywood style and smoking marijuana. It's very funny. You should definitely watch it. I just found the English translated clip, and the link is in the description. But there was a rash of articles talking about how it's cultural appropriation and it's racist and blah, 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 blah. They are going to do this to absolutely everything. So you might as well embrace your racism. Have fun. My goodness. When everything is racist, nothing is racist. You get it? So anyway, they're complaining about this hilariously funny clip. You should watch it. Share it on Facebook. It's very funny. And Maxime Bernier agrees that it's funny and people should be able to make fun of people using anything, satirize anything. So yeah, sure. Here is a tweet saying, quote, "At Maxime Bernier talks candidates and immigration PPC 2019. And this is a link to the Powerplay interview here. And we're going to listen to 2 minutes on immigration. This is Global Compact on Migration. Here we go.
But where are you on the UN Migration Pact? Where are you on how tight the borders should be on allowing immigration to happen freely as it is now?
Well, I was the first leader of the National Party 3 months ago to say no to the compact with the UN. I know that it's not a binding compact, but it's why signing an agreement if you, and the government was saying it's not binding, so we can sign that. But why signing an agreement when you don't want to do the change in our legislative here in Canada, legislative law in Canada? So we don't believe in mass immigration. We believe in immigration, and we're the only party to speak that we must have fewer immigrants, 250,000 a year. And the other parties, the Liberals and the Conservative and the NDP, they are all asking for more and more and more. And as you know, the Trudeau government, they increased by 40% the number of immigrants in Canada from 250,000 to 350,000. And 49% of the populations, they want us to go back and to have fewer immigrants. So that's important. And speaking about what's happening in the border in Quebec, I think that it is not sustainable, that system, and the government, they don't want to act. The thing that we must do, we must sit down with government, the US government, with Trump, right, and having a solution to that third safe party agreement, and being sure that they will respect our border and secure our border. We have an immigration system we had before 2015, an immigration system that was sustainable, and now people are coming in Canada, and by the end, 40% of these people, they're not refugees, so they will have to go back to their country. So we must fix that, and we have a solution for that.
So Bernier said a lot there. He said he wasn't in agreement with the Global Compact for Migration. He said that, I don't know if he said directly here that he would pull Canada out, but he has said that in the past. He said, why sign an agreement when you don't have a will to change the legislation to match the agreement? I mean, Trudeau has already changed the behavior of Canada to line up with the Global Compact for Migration. Our RCMP are bellboys. And Ezra Levent tweeted this out yesterday, saying, they're carrying luggage. They're not keeping our borders secure, which is absolutely a travesty and should not be happening. Bernier continued saying the Quebec border is absolutely terrible and should be addressed. We need to sit down with the United States and clean up this safe third country agreement. And I think that it's funny bringing that back into the fold. It's been laid bare that Trudeau's plan all along was to open our border with the Global Compact for Migration. He got there. He got over the line. He signed it, right? December 10th, 11th. So he's succeeded in opening our border. And I think that Bernier is behind the times in talking about the Safe Third Country Agreement, because the Global Compact on Migration just opens our border, and that the Safe Third Country Agreement is just out the window. We need, and he says at the end of the piece there that we have a solution for this, and he doesn't get into it. So I hope that he gets into it a little bit more, fleshes it out, because it's a serious problem. Having the Global Compact on Migration signed and other, quote, international obligations beholds us, makes it so that we have to give all of these people who touch Canadian soil and who we can't prove aren't refugees, we have to give them all hearings. And the hearings are the things that take forever. That's the reason we have to put them up in hotels. And the Liberals are using this to their 100% advantage. They're using this to try and assimilate these people into Canadian jobs and get them off the government grants. They don't succeed one little tiny bit. Here's a Syrian family that's been in Canada for 3 years, and they're still on government grants, $3,000 a month to be exact. And he's having a hard time finding a job. His wife has a part-time job. It's not ideal for anybody, because the Canadian taxpayer is on the hook for this for $36,000 a year, right? $3,000 a month times 12, right? From the article. Since first arriving in Kamloops on New Year's Eve of 2015, the family says agencies like Kamloops Immigrant Services have helped Reem and Khaled to improve their English. However, while their English is better, it is still posing issues for the couple who haven't been able to find permanent work. Quote, he applied a lot, but because of his language, people said he needed to improve his English, said Hannah about Khaled. Between childcare support for their 5 kids and refugee payments from the Canadian government, the family brings in about $3,000 every month, just enough to get by. Huh. Wow. Isn't that generous of us? Right? So Maxime Bernier is talking about that, saying he's got a solution. Between this absolute travesty of exploitation of a system that used to work and the open borders, the literal open borders where people crossing in get hotel stays and government checks too, the immigration system that Justin Trudeau has presided over has been an untrammeled, unmitigated disaster. It is an absolute disaster. Not to mention the cost of educating all the children that they're bringing in, not to mention the cost of healthcare for the adults that they're bringing in. They're bringing in families under chain, like family migration pact. And Ahmed Hassan was talking about this the other day. The cost of this is astronomical, and it's not being counted whatsoever. So frustrating. Okay, back to the tweet roundup. Maxime Bernier is saying, CPC critics for Atlantic Canada denounce Liberals for appointing, quote, a minister for ACOA from Toronto. ACOA is the agency that distributes corporate welfare in Atlantic Canada. Like Liberals, the CPC loves subsidies. All they want is a local minister so they can buy votes more efficiently. And the article, Maxime Bernier is tweeting in response to this tweet by Andrew Scheer, and Andrew Scheer says, Justin Trudeau is failing Canadians right across the country. Great piece by Rob Moore. And the piece is okay. I don't necessarily need to highlight the whole thing, but basically the ACOC is a group of ministers that hands out the corporate welfare, and they're complaining that the fisheries have been moved, they being this Atlantic opinion piece. They're complaining that the fisheries have been moved out of the Atlantic provinces to the Western provinces, and it's not fair. And so the CPC's path to fixing this is putting a maritime or an Atlantic Canadian into the ACOA position. But is that really a fix? Bernier is saying abolish the welfare, the corporate welfare, and use that to cut taxes and stimulate businesses through direct tax cuts rather than handing out the collected tax dollars, right? I don't know. Makes sense to me. Back to Maxime Bernier. Scheer We know Canadians are worried about the rising cost of living. Families have to pay hundreds of dollars more per year for food because of the supply management cartel. But because I'm in their pockets, I won't do anything. Maxime Bernier is the only one who will stop it. And it's a link to another one of Andrew Scheer's tweets talking about stopping. It's talking about exactly what Bernier said, the rising cost of living. Well, it says, we know Canadians are worried about the rising cost of living, but Trudeau's carbon tax is going to make life and the cost of everything, everyday essentials, more expensive for years to come. And it's another one of their memes, etc. Link will be in the description. Maxime Bernier says, conservative trolls are clearly in denial. They think I'm still one of them and that my goal should be to help them defeat Trudeau. My goal is to defeat both Scheer and Trudeau and win. Get used to it. And this is in response to somebody saying you guys need to unite to take down Trudeau, and Bernier saying, I'm the only Canadian who is vying for this office. Get used to it. This is not a Maxime Bernier tweet, but I wanted to point this out. This is appalling from the Toronto Star. This is shaming anybody who took Kim Campbell's ridiculous expletive directed at Donald Trump for what it was, which is classless and below a former Prime Minister of Canada, except that she thinks that it's fine. So this is the Toronto Star tweeting, quote, we will never have equality until any woman is free to call any man a mother effer, writes Vinya Menyon. I don't know. So I think this is the Toronto Star they're jumping the shark, right? They're, what was that term from Tropic Thunder? Ooh. If you haven't seen Tropic Thunder, maybe go watch that clip. But we'll stick with the Fonzie jumping the shark analogy. This is the Toronto Star totally jumping the shark. Anybody should be able to call any man anything. It doesn't matter their former position or their current position or the politics that goes along with it. We should just be allowed to call anybody anything, right, Toronto Star? Yeah, right. That's why nobody takes you seriously. That's why nobody reads your papers. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Check out the peoplespartyofcanada.ca. We being them and us, Canada, will have a new federal party that is able to administer tax receipts if you so choose to donate your hard-earned money to help them get elected. Thank you for watching, everybody, and go check out that Tropic Thunder piece. It's quite funny. Have a good day.